They have put you into a box, into a story, and they tell that story about you, and they believe that story about you. Now, if you have people in your life that are truly your champions, and the story they tell about you is that you are going to be amazing, and you are successful, and you are going to reach the stars, well, amen and God bless, because those are people who are truly in your corner, and they're supporting the vision. If you have enough of those people around you, you're probably not going to fear your success as much as somebody who has more negative people around them. Hi friends, welcome back to Call Cut with Angelique. I'm Angelique, and today we're going to call cut on fear. Fear is a huge topic to cover because fear has so many different purposes in our lives, and not all of it is bad. There is the kind of fear that keeps us safe. There's the kind of fear that tells us don't touch that, that could kill you, don't go there, that's not really safe for you. And we need that. We need our reptilian brain to kick in so that we can survive on this planet. Because the fact is, there are things on this planet that can legitimately hurt you and or kill you. So we do want to make sure that that part of our brain is fully operational. But where fear becomes a problem is when it is constantly getting in the way of our lives. And man, does it do this in so many different forms. The one I really want to focus on today is the fear of success. Now, a lot of people roll their eyes when I say fear of success, and they say that's not a thing. It is a thing. There are people who are legitimately afraid of their own success because they are fearful of what it will cost them. You have to remember that there's a lot of different dynamics playing out in this world, friendships, family, etc. And not every single person who comes into your life is actually rooting for you. Not every single person wants to see you succeed because they have put you into a box, into a story, and they tell that story about you, and they believe that story about you. Now, if you have people in your life that are truly your champions, and the story they tell about you is that you are going to be amazing, and you are successful, and you are going to reach the stars, well, amen and God bless, because those are people who are truly in your corner, and they're supporting the vision. If you have enough of those people around you, you're probably not going to fear your success as much as somebody who has more negative people around them. I came from predominantly negative. In my family, they always come from the, well, why you? Well, you can't. Well, okay, that person's great, but not you. Actually, one of my favorite stories about my crazy family is coming to see me in a play. And when I got off the play, by the way, this is a middle school play. When I got off the stage and, you come backstage and meet everybody and they're there, they're like, what did you think of this person and this person? They're like, oh, well, you were okay, but that person was amazing. And that person was phenomenal. And did you hear that girl's voice? It wasn't that they were wrong, right? Those people were great. They were phenomenal. And yes, they were better than me. But when you are constantly in a situation where people are giving you backhanded compliments or people are not really fully supporting you, but almost undermining your dream, you begin to believe that that dream is not really for you. And this is what we're going to call cut on today because the dream is for you. The success is for you, but you can't fear it. And you can't listen to those negative demons in the ear or the people that are around you that are telling you that you cannot. You can, and you will. But you have to look at all the ways you may be self-sabotaging and preventing yourself from getting to that point. So let's start with one of the self-sabotage techniques is, oh, well, I don't really feel good today. Friends, I am telling you I have a headache, I don't really feel good. It is a self-sabotage technique. This is not to say that you cannot legitimately have headaches. I get migraines, I get tension headaches, and they are real. I know the difference in the headache that I get when I am self-sabotaging. When suddenly I don't feel good, and I'll tell you, it starts from the night before. The night before, I will start to tell myself a story about how, oh, I don't think I really want to go. I'm kind of nervous. I really don't want to do this. And every single time, I end up with a pounding headache. Now, that is because I have given myself this headache. I have created so much tension, so much overwhelm, and so much stress that I've actually sabotaged myself. Even if I show up to that event or to that thing or audition at the time, whatever it was, I still have a massive headache. So I'm not fully enjoying myself. I'm not fully in my power. I'm not fully in my light. Instead, I'm trying to find Advil. I'm trying to find a Coke to drink it with because you need the caffeine or a shot of espresso, something that could get me back online. And it's a miserable experience. And I never realized that I was doing it to myself, that I was sabotaging myself because deep down, I was afraid. And the question was, well, what are you afraid of? And what it turned out to be was I was afraid of my own success because when you become successful at anything, you are going to lose people. I'm going to say that again. When you become successful, you are going to lose people. That is by design. You have heard the phrase, it's lonely at the top. Okay. You've heard a lot of people say that. And that's not incorrect. That is correct. The sad reason behind that, and why I say it's sad because it's unbelievably unnecessary, but unfortunately it is the consciousness that we're living in, is because this consciousness is riddled with competition, comparison, envy, and jealousy. And when you have those four things, those four energies predominantly ruling the narratives and ruling the consciousness, it is really hard for some people because you want people to be excited for your success, but they're not excited for your success. A couple of different things happen. You will notice that people disappear. They no longer support you. Or there were people who were so happy to be in your life when things were going wrong or things weren't happening for you. Yeah, they wanted to be right next to you. They were championing you. And then the minute things started going well, you got the love of your life, you got the dream job, you got a huge opportunity, or you bought the home you were waiting for, or the car, or you finally had kids after trying and trying. Suddenly those people are gone. And I have seen this more times than I can possibly tell you about. It's happened to me countless times where somebody will befriend me because they think that somehow they're above me, and then they get to know me and they find out that that is not the case, and suddenly they disappear, or they try to create chaos and drama in my life in order to keep me down, in order to keep me upset, or to keep me sort of dependent on them. So we have to understand that not all human intention is good intention. Not all human intention is bad either. And we're going to get to that too. But to start where this fear actually comes from, the fear is coming from people who made you feel like you are going to lose something if you succeed. Okay. That's the story. You are going to lose your friend. You are going to lose your lover. You are going to lose that opportunity. And I am going to tell you this story because I know she would have wanted me to tell this story. The late, great Margot Kidder, she told me this story when we were on the set of Serena's song, and she was trying to prove a point to me, and it was a point that was so well taken. I have never forgotten this. So before Superman, which was what really put her on the map in that way, she was a director and a writer. And she was directing and writing. She was acting as well. And when Superman came about and they were casting, Donner wanted to bring her in, along with some other women, but he wanted to bring her in. And her husband at the time, who was a very well-known screenwriter, said to her, "No, I don't want you going on this audition." And she said, "Well, why?" And he said, "Because I have a feeling you're going to get it. And if you're going to get it, you're going to be more successful than me, and I can't be married to a person who's more successful than I am." That is something that, give him a lot of credit for saying it out loud, because he said out loud to her what most people don't say out loud. That's the part they keep hidden. But for whatever reason, however it worked out in her life, her husband told her this. And now she's given a choice. So I said, "Well, what did you do?" And she said, "Well, I went to the audition because I didn't think I was going to get it." I said, "I understand that." She said, "I just said to myself, let me just go. And that's it. I'll go. I'm not going to get it. I'm going up against these other women. It's fine. I'm not going to have to worry about it." So she goes and she does the audition. We know she got the call back, right? We know she got the call back. And she said to me, "This was supposed to be the best day of my life. My God, I was going to be Lois Lane." I got the call back. Donna really wanted me for this role. And all I kept thinking was, if I go home and I say something my marriage is going to be over. So I am going to have to forfeit one from the other. And I don't know what to do with that. Right. And so she's still dealing with this, but convincing herself, well, I got the call back, but it doesn't really mean I'm going to get the role. So she goes home. She tells him that she got the call back. And he reminds her that if she gets the role, he's going to leave her. So she should probably think about ending this charade now and save everybody the grief. And she said to me, that night I went to bed and I said to myself, if I get this role, I'm going to lose everything. And I said, that must have been one of the hardest things that you ever had to deal with. She said, yes. And a couple different times, I really hoped I didn't get it. She said, and then I found out that I got it. I said, and? She said, and he left me. And just like that, I thought, holy crap. Sometimes you hear these stories and you think, no, there's no way. They're just threatening. But no, he made good on that threat. And she said to me, my life was falling apart. And yet it was beginning at the same time. So she went on to have this incredible career because she chose herself. She was threatened. She had somebody who she loved dearly that she was making a life with telling her that, I'm going to leave you. And she did it anyway because she was going to do what she had to do for her own soul. And it paid off. Now, I will tell you guys, oftentimes it will pay off. It's the right thing. Your heart is going to lead you there. And yes, there are going to be a lot of crabs in the pot that try to pull you down. They're going to try to make sure that you don't actually rise because, like Margie's husband said, I can't be with somebody who's more successful than me. Friends, that is it. Right there in a nutshell. And that is the reason I tell you this story, because this man had the guts to say to her face what it actually was. And what it actually was is, I will feel inferior to you. And so I'm sorry, I can't be happy for your success. I can't support it. In a lot of ways, I appreciate this because he set her free instead of playing a game with her and pretending like, oh, yeah, I know, I got it, and then torturing her life, in the marriage, which is another thing people do, right? They tell you that they're so happy for you and then they just torture the living hell out of you for existing. At least he let her go. He let her go and be free to go live her life however she was going to live it with her newfound success. It's not an easy choice to make because you want something and you have this dream and they don't believe in it, or the number one, they don't want to feel inferior to you. And this is something you will find with lifelong friends. Sometimes some of them will go with people who come on very, very strong and they want to be your BFFFFFFF. And really, they're just kind of in this silent competition with you. You'll start to see it. I had one of those. I've had many of those. The minute I see it, I cut it. I stop talking to them. I ghost them. Because at this age, I don't have time to have conversation after conversation about it. If people are not on your side, if people are talking about you, if people aren't there for you, you are going to develop a fear. You are going to develop a phobia. Because in our hearts, we all want to be loved, we all want to be included, and we all want to be accepted. And the minute we feel like some choice that we're going to make is now going to ostracize us from all these people that we love and we think love us, it puts us in a really difficult position. And suddenly our fear starts to creep and crawl because now we're thinking about abandonment. And we're scared to be abandoned. Like, oh, am I going to lose everything and everyone because of this? Sure, you may lose people. Yes, you are going to lose people. And those are the right people to lose because they're not the people for you for the next part of your journey. So we have to call cut on the idea that we have to hold ourselves back and dim our light so we can make everyone else around us feel comfortable. It's the nature and the cyclical nature, I should say, of life is that things end, things begin, people come in, people go out. The trick is knowing when to let go of those things so you can step into your highest power. Because if you don't give yourself the chance to step into your highest power, you will never know if you could have done it. Somebody telling you that you're not good enough or you can't do it, that doesn't mean it's true. And this can be a parent. A parent can tell you, oh, that's not for you. That's not who you are. I had that parent. And I remember when he's like, sorry, your dreams didn't come true. Okay, sir. You know, my dreams haven't even begun to come true, right? If somebody could dig into this brain and see what it's really going on in there, you'd be terrified. Like, no, we haven't even begun. But I'm stubborn as all hell. And while I did have fear of success for a long time, and I was totally scared, well, if I become this, I'm going to lose this friend, or that friend, or maybe this person will want to be with me, whatever was going through my mind, it absolutely got in the way. So, this is one of those ways that fear crawls up under your skin and starts to do this little dance. And that little dance helps you get stuck in the negative feedback loop of, nope, I'm not going to even go for it because I'm afraid to lose something because then I'm going to be abandoned and nobody's going to love me and nobody's going to like me. Cut. This is not the story you are going to tell. The story you're going to tell is the Margot Kidder story, where you had the courage to say, okay, I'm going to step out of this old life and I'm going to step into this new one and say, this is something that I have always wanted. This is my opportunity. If there are people around me who are not happy for me, I just have to let them go. I can't dim my light for their pleasure. Because I assure you, friends, they will not dim their light for you. If there was an opportunity for them to rise, I mean, most of us are happy for people. I know I'm happy for people. But if you're not getting that reciprocated, then maybe these aren't the right people. And it's okay for it not to be the right people. As I said, the right people will come. The right people come with the right rooms, with the right opportunities. And in life, we are thrown so many different things, especially when we are headed down the path and we're trying to really get it what it is that we came here to do, whatever mission we have. And along the way, our fear is going to put us in rooms we don't belong. Our fear that we can't make it, our fear that we're not being seen is going to put us in the wrong spot. I say this all the time. I can't walk into any room. I have to walk into the right room. And I say this all the time. If you've been reading my writing or following my journey, I say this ad nauseum. I mean, I think my husband's tired of hearing it. It's not about how many people you know. It's not about how many people you network with. It's about the right people coming into your sphere that have the same frequency, the same energy, and the same vibration so you can go together supporting each other's dreams. The one person in my life who has always supported my dreams is my best friend. She's never had competition with me. She's never felt threatened by me. And that is why we've worked together. We're still working together on huge projects. And we go into these things together because we have that unbelievable symbiotic energy of support for each other. And we've known each other for 2 decades. And we're constantly championing each other. When I did my play, she showed up at the play 40 times plus. When she was doing her documentary for Nigel Mansell, we were out there promoting her and helping her in any way. That is what you do when you are aligned. So you don't have to fear your success because your success is going to be celebrated by the right people. Your success is going to be celebrated and you're going to be celebrated, and you're not going to have to shrink yourself or pull yourself out of those rooms. You'll be able to shine on your own. Now, there's another half to this, and the other half of it has to do with your own belief system. And if your own belief system is, I'm not good enough, or why me? And however you got to those places, whether it's through traumas, ancestral bloodlines, reversals, etc., they're there, they're deep, they're in the body. And so every time you try to take 2 steps forward, you get kicked 3 steps back. Every time you try to move the needle a little bit for yourself, you get kicked back. Because there's a belief running in the back of your mind that says, oh, this isn't going to happen for me. This is going to fall through. They're going to choose somebody else. They're not going to choose me. Now, here is the inherent problem with these storylines, friends. Your thoughts create reality. And if your thoughts create reality and you've had so much of your thoughts being negatively based, you will continue to create a negative reality for yourself, which means that you will push that success further and further and further away from you instead of alchemizing that energy and drawing it to you. The other thing people do out of fear is they become desperate. Desperation is one of the worst energies to sit in. And if you feel yourself in that energy, I beg you to call cut. Calling cut on desperation is so important because people can feel that energy. If you need money, if you need clients, if you're trying to get your business off the ground, if you're trying to get more people in the room and you come at people with this sort of aggressive energy, people feel it. And, it's physics. Anything that you push against, it will push back with an equal and opposite force. So you aren't going to get what you want by pushing, pushing, pushing. You get what you want by sitting back and surrendering and allowing the things to come to you by having absolute full faith that all of the universe is conspiring in your favor, that it will all work out for you. And you don't have to go and push and push and push. Now, I want to make a couple things clear. There's a difference between pushing and taking action. Okay. Surrender doesn't mean sitting down and putting your feet up and saying, okay, well, I'm waiting for this wonderful opportunity to come to me. No, you have to put energy into it. You have to put aligned action. But aligned action means that you have come up with a strategy, and a strategy that is super beneficial, that you have really thought out. If you approach your life in this way where you are taking action and it's conscious action and it's aligned action, but you're not pushing, you are just placing yourself in the places you need to be, you will find that things will organically start to whip around to you. Things will come in your way. Opportunities will come your way. The right people will come your way. The wrong people will be taken out. Don't take anything negative as being a sign that there's something inherently wrong with you. It's the universe saying, nope, not the right place, not the right time, not the right person. And the more you get good at calling cut on your own fear that something isn't going to happen for you, that something isn't going to be aligned for you, that you're going to miss that opportunity, those people are going to disappear. All these storylines that get in the way and fall under the umbrella of fear of success. If you get really, really good at honing in on calling cut on all of that, you are going to liberate yourself. You are going to find that all the universe really does deliver. I was a person who lost faith. I was a person who began to believe that maybe the universe wasn't on my side. Maybe there was some grand scheme to stop me from moving forward. And I did truly believe this. And I believed it pretty strongly. And in that time that I held this belief, everything was at a standstill. Nothing was moving forward at all. My stupidly optimistic self decided to take a vacation, and it was replaced by sadness. And it was replaced by frustration. And it was also replaced by overwhelm. And I want to say this. You are allowed to feel those things. You are allowed to go through seasons of your life feeling a little bit defeated, feeling deflated, feeling hopeless, feeling like nothing's going your way. You are allowed to feel that. That's actually the part of the shadow that pulls us in so we can start to reevaluate and come up with another plan. The trick is not to stay there, because the minute we stay there and those thoughts become a habit, that's when the negative feedback loop starts to go woo, 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 and it's really hard to break out of it. Really, really hard. And then we have to call cut, call cut, call cut 3 months in a row every single time. And by the way, I had to do this to myself because I went and put myself in the pit of despair and I had to get myself out of it. But if I never had that experience, I wouldn't be here now showing you the way out, right? And this is going to be different for everyone. How you find that way out is going to be different from my experience. But if you continuously call cut on the idea that you have to fear your success or fear the repercussions of you being successful or fear yourself, right? We fear that we are somehow going to let ourselves down. Like, what if we do get this? Can we really do it? Fuck yeah, you can really do it. What the hell? You came here to do it. That's why you're here. God doesn't put the dream in your heart for a joke, right? It's not like, oh, ha, 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 ha. No, the dream goes in your heart because it is something that you can fully manifest in this life. Sometimes we don't always know what the dream is. We think it's something else. And sometimes as we start to navigate our path, it starts to become clear what that actually is. But yeah, you absolutely are going to have it, but you can't dim your light. You have to be fearless like Margot. You have to be like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to shut down my fear. I'm going to shut down my negative friends or family or anybody who's telling me, well, choose me or choose that. And I'm going to choose me. And I'm going to choose me, not from an egotistical place, friends, because anybody who is good is not going to get in your way. Anybody who has your best interest at heart is going to stand behind you. I have this with my husband. My husband is 100% behind me. This guy has done all these projects with me. We've done tons of projects together, supporting each other over the 17 years that we've been together. And I can tell you, it's a very different experience when somebody is your champion and is in your corner versus giving you hell, making your life horrible, telling you to choose, telling you, every time looking for fights. I dated somebody who used to pick a fight with me every time I had to go shoot a commercial or go shoot a film. And every gosh damn time I was supposed to be on set, this friggin' guy was starting a fight with me. It was like clockwork. Clockwork. So much so that I was on a set of a commercial. I was so sick because I was up all night fighting with him and I was vomiting. And I remember the hair and makeup girl was like, I think you got to get rid of this guy because you're never going to move forward in this business if you have somebody that's stressing you out till the point where you're throwing up on set and you're having a migraine and you feel awful and ill. You can't even enjoy this. Thank God for hair and makeup people, man, because they're like, it's just like your hairdresser, right? They're like your therapist. You tell them everything. But it was solid advice. And it's advice I will give to you. You cannot let anybody piss on your fire. And I know that's a really crass thing to say, but it's true. Your fire is what gives you the fuel, it gives you the energy, and it gives you the power to keep going because life is going to hit you and life is going to keep coming at you. And it's going to keep saying, yeah, you sure you want this? Yeah, you sure? Are you sure? Because we are living in a negative consciousness. And again, as I said at the top, competition, comparison, envy, and jealousy are the energies that are predominant. And we are trying to shift, and hopefully humanity will shift. But for the moment, you truly need to navigate those things with a solid compass. And know, if I come up against this, I am going to do my thing, but I am not going to be afraid of my own power. I am not going to be afraid of my own success. I am not going to be afraid of my own potential, and I am not going to be afraid of the repercussions if I choose to fully stand in my light. You came here to fully stand in your light. I assure you, you won't be alone. I assure you, you won't be deserted, and I assure you, you won't be abandoned. If anything, you are going to be lifted. You are going to be placed. You are going to be placed in the company of people who are like you, who have good spirits and good souls. And those people will gravitate toward each other and they will gravitate toward you. But you have to make sure that your belief is so strong in yourself that you do not let your fear be greater than your dream. Go get the dream. The success will come. You have nothing to fear. I hope some of this helped you to understand how it works and what you may be doing that's sabotaging your own success. Whether it's making excuses, whether it's listening to people, whether it's allowing people too much power over you and power over your decisions, whether it's just that little voice in your mind that keeps telling you you can't when you know goddamn well you can. Whatever it is, we call cut. The minute the voice comes, the minute somebody says something, call cut on that narrative. Realign yourself and say, I am deserving of this dream. This was placed in my heart, and I have every single talent available to me to make it happen. Remember, friends, life is what we think it. It is all a story. It is a narrative that can be changed. You are the writer, the director, and the producer of your story, so make it a good one. Thank you so much for joining me on Call Cut with Angelique. New episodes drop every Friday. If you like this content, please subscribe, like, share with your friends. And remember, folks, no matter what life gives you, you must always keep shining.